righty, well, ho, chaps and chapettes, Game Chap and Bertie here.
Yes.
Yes, indeed, fellows, and I dare say we are now reporting on a most interesting and quite spectacular party thrown by a certain Mr. Notch Esquire recently to celebrate moving into his new house.
We most certainly are. As you may know, Mr. Notch bought a house recently.
Did he?
Well, he did, but it was no sort of normal house. He decided to buy the most expensive house in Beverly Hills, I think. Something into the tune of 70 million United States dollars.
Well, that was a bit of a pocket change, old chap, wasn't it? But
yes, he used to code things in a kitchen somewhere, apparently.
I see.
And now he bought that.
Well, Mr. Notch Esquire has, of course, splashed out in every sense of the word on the most expensive house ever sold in Beverly Hills, and so consequently, it seems he felt some kind of, well, housewarming party was in order, old chap.
Most certainly, yes. A couple of takeaways brought in, a couple of burgers and things like that, you know.
Yes.
It wasn't exactly like that, actually. It was probably equally lavish to the house he bought.
Oh, I see. So we're saying this is the kind of party that might be fit for Her Majesty the Queen, old chap.
Well, not quite, I wouldn't
Nearly.
say, but not far off.
Not far off. Well,
yes.
Indeed, Vanales, Mr. Notch Esquire invited a range of guests, from celebrities to industry professionals and veterans, to his, shall we say, lavish sprawling pad, and basically gave them the whole works, laid on with meals, facilities, show business type things, and the whole bit, you know.
It was the whole works. Now, he did have, apparently, as you say, there were different people there of note, such as John and Brenda Romero.
Ah.
Apparently they were the ones involved with Wolfenstein 3D and Doom back in the day.
Doom, I say.
Certainly. A chap named Tim Schafer there, as well-known name, was also there, along with some sort of celebs, as it were, such as Selena Gomez, and a chap named DJ Z that people may know of.
Oh, I say. So indeed we have some celebs in the party too, it seems.
Yes, he's invited a lot of people there. Didn't see any YouTubers there.
No, I don't think they got invited, old chap.
Strange, isn't it?
It seems indeed this was a party very much thrown for the industry and celebrity connections, and no doubt also for some people who perhaps live next to him, or in the neighbourhood, old chap. After all, you've got to invite the neighbours round.
Well, I think if you buy the biggest house in the whole of Beverly Hills, it's quite a statement to the other rather wealthy members of the community around you.
Yes.
So I think it might be rather smart, perhaps, to invite them to your housewarming party as well, or you're liable to make enemies before you begin.
Well, I suppose...
So we don't know, but perhaps they may have been there, they may have not, we don't know.
Mr. Notch no doubt sent out many invites to all sorts of people, and of course he threw on an absolutely lavish bash of sorts. Now, what kinds of things do they have there, old chap?
Well, we had all sorts of things. We seem to have caterers there. There seem to be caterers actually there doing the catering, you know, as you're there, as it were, rather than just some food they've bought from the local Sainsbury's, Tesco's or Walmart, whichever you like.
So they didn't actually go to the sweet room and just feast on sweets all night then, or the wine cellar and gorge themselves on wine?
They had chefs in there, obviously professional chefs, with all sorts of cuisine types and little added extras and little tidbits and all sorts of things.
Right, so they actually had chefs there serving up the meals for the guests, basically.
Most certainly they did indeed.
I say.
They had a huge array of things, condiments of all sorts. There was a massive, huge sweet room in there. It was absolutely filled with sweets of every type you can possibly think of.
Indeed, that room just packed to a bursting point with chocolate coins, sweets of all shapes and sizes, basically in its very own candy room inside the house.
Oh, most certainly, yes, indeed, they had all of that, all catered and ready to go.
So, basically, you've got all these guests at this sprawling party, and of course, the party wouldn't be complete without a bit of flash, I understand. And are we talking cars, old chap?
Oh, most certainly, it wouldn't be complete without the flash. And some of these, and talking about flash, and just before we get onto the cars...
Right.
We saw a glimpse of the wine room there, which was more like some people's entire front room, as it were, or sitting room, filled with all types of wine. Now, I own a couple of vintage wines, you know, but this thing seemed to be filled with them. Perhaps it came with a bally house.
Yes, perhaps so. One can only imagine it might have done. So, Notch has his very own wine cellar, his very own sweet room, his very own sort of trinkets room, and no doubt many other rooms in the house. And of course, we have to get onto the cars, old boy. I'm so excited about these, old chap.
Well, most certainly. There was shown there was a Rolls Royce.
A Rolls Royce?
Certainly.
Phantom.
Looked like a brand new roller to me.
Oh.
Along with a Ferrari. Not sure of the make of that particular one, but it was a Ferrari shown as well, rather flash looking.
An expensive Ferrari.
Well, yes, inside what could only be described as some form of, like a showroom almost, within the actual house with this huge transformer-type robot. The sort of ones that you see that cost about £30,000, I think, or something like that.
So basically we have one car's worth about £280,000, the other must be at least £230,000, the statue's £30,000, now we're at £500,000 already, old boy.
Oh, I think that's small change, really.
I think that's pocket change, though, really.
When you've got that sort of money. Now, I don't know whether, we don't know whether they came with a house, but they were shown these rather smart cars. And then Mr. Notch was chatting, I believe, shortly after this event, about which car he thinks he should get.
Oh, I see.
Because I do believe he passed his test recently in good old Sweden. Perhaps he's forgotten about them now.
Yes, I think so. So basically, Mr. Notch doesn't actually own any cars over there as yet, does he? He's thinking of getting a car. So these cars are either the guest cars, or they sort of came with a house, old chap.
Well, most certainly, just moving on there now, what sort of car do you think Mr. Notch is going to get?
Oh.
Well, the roller was shown there, but I think the roller's very much sort of used to be one.
Really?
It's all about the Bentley nowadays.
You like Bentleys?
No, the Bentley is the one, yes, most
Well.
certainly. I mean, the Queen actually travels in a Bentley now.
That's a good point, she
And
does.
if you're looking for the other car, so you've got your roller, or in this case your Bentley there,
Yes.
for the occasions when you're taking maybe the family or whatever out, or just going to a little bit of a businessy function. But then, of course, when you're in that sort of league, you also need the other car, which
The Batmobile.
the flash one, the one you go out to show off with, as it were.
Oh, that
And
one.
I think perhaps, rather than the Ferrari, nothing wrong with Ferraris, I think perhaps the other one to go with your Bentley would be the Lamborghini, and of course the Murcielago version.
Oh, yes, I know the
Yes.
one. So we are talking, in your opinion, it should be the Bentley and the Lambo, old chap.
I think so, yes. I
Well,
think that goes down rather well. You won't go too far wrong with those in those circles, I don't think.
If you ask me, I actually prefer Ferraris, old boy, to Lambos, but I think they're both very good.
Most certainly. I think you're going to get an equal nod of approval from those in your league if you've got those cars.
Yes, and also, of course, we can't forget the other possibility, which is the nuclear option for vehicles, and that is, of course, the $1 million Bugatti Veyron.
Now the Bugatti is another choice, and no doubt Mr. Notch could get the Bugatti.
He could
but
do.
having not driven before, a Bugatti is similar to a rocket, I think.
It's
Rocket
like a
engine.
small jet engine,
It's
isn't it?
extremely powerful, yes indeed. And very interesting car, got a lot of celebs with them, or a few celebs with them. But I think my choice would be Murcielago though.
Really, but of course, if you've only just recently passed your driving test, like Mr. Notch, and all of a sudden you're in control of what is basically a small jet engine there, as you said, you're going to have to be a bit careful when driving round to make sure you don't go careening off the road.
Most certainly. So there you are. That's the cars, no doubt.
The cars.
Very flashy cameras shown, sort of chrome, with these table football things shown. It was extremely lavish.
It was, and of course, Notch being a bit of a disco music fan, I understand that's the reason why that DJ Z chap went over there, and he actually had his own turntables there, and they were DJing music through the night, I think.
Most certainly, yes. It looks like he had a DJ right there. Not just big ghetto blasters, but he actually had a DJ there with all the gear in there, whacking away, as it were. And
so, what was Mr. Notch wearing exactly on this very, very lavish party night?
Well, apparently, Mr. Notch chose for wearing on his upper part of his body a t-shirt.
A t-shirt?
A red t-shirt.
Well, I think...
Now, having said that...
That really sums up the attitude here, I think. Mr. Notch is very much the sort of nouveau riche type. He's not sort of overly flouting it as regards his clothing, although, of course, he most certainly is with the house. But I think as for his personal style, he's just, he's very casual about the whole thing, I think.
Well, he seems to be. I mean, some people like that. Did you know, I knew a millionaire that he used to drive 10-year-old or more car.
10-year-old cars. Well,
an old wreck.
There you go. So not all of these super wealthy types, like Mr. Notch, of course, now,
yes.
Not all of them necessarily dress up in the finest suits and, they drive the best cars. Some of them actually choose to sort of live it quiet.
A red t-shirt is what... But having said that, we have to give him some credit, because it was a Ralph Lauren one, I believe.
Oh, right. Special t-shirt. Right.
I do believe so. I think it's rather smart, so there we are.
But even so, Mr. Notch is unquestionably making a very large statement here, Fiddles, by buying that huge honking great big house, throwing a massive bash for all of the local fans, celebrities and whatnot, well, neighbours, celebrities and whatnot, I suppose.
Yes.
All the cars in there, the DJing, the catering, the wine, the sweets, the whole bit. And of course, as I say, he really is making a statement and saying, look, I've got the money, I've made it.
Well, he seems to be, most certainly, but the thing is, what on earth happened to the just good old Minecraft and just sitting in the office and firing some Nerf guns at people? What happened to that? And fielding comments about, people saying, look, I'm a bit cheesed off because I can't sell things on your server and all things like that.
Oh, yes, he did get very upset about that,
I mean, what
must
happened
say.
to all that? I think he's put it all behind him.
Yes.
And has said a mighty, well, I've upped to make my game, so up yours, I think.
I've upped my game, so up yours too.
Well, I think so. I think he's saying something like that.
Well, it's interesting theory, old chap.
Yes,
I mean,
I think you can take motivation from that, perhaps.
You think he's going for the motivational speaker type role?
Could well be.
Oh, I see. Of course, yes. So he's encouraging us all to perhaps step up our games as well.
Perhaps.
Right. Oh, I see.
Perhaps.
That's interesting and a very wise take on the matter, I think, old chap. So
Well, yeah.
perhaps indeed Mr. Notch is making a statement along those lines, and also, of course, he's got the money now, so he can basically do whatever he likes. And it seems in this case he's chosen to live the flashy life. But the question is, will he burn through all that cash like this?
Will he burn through all the cash? And will this be a massive high and a huge, massive high that just becomes a massive low when he's done the whole bit? Because once you've done it, isn't it, you can move on to buy an island, I suppose. But once you've done that, got the cars, got the private jet, maybe
got the tasty lady,
maybe got the boat. Got a tasty lady on the arm, and you've done all the whole bit. What are you going to do then?
Well, that's the question, old chap.
Then what?
Well,
Fly to the moon? What's he going to do then, son?
No,
You've had all that, son.
Not now.
You've got all that money now. What's he going to do?
Stop it.
Eh?
Don't. So, Mr. Notch then fails. It seems indeed he has made it in life, and he really is, well, I don't know, he's showing off here. I mean, he really is going for it, old chap. You think back to 2009, 5 short years ago, or actually just over 5 years ago, of course, he was very much just a coder, just making this game and tinkering with a few sales, and now he's absolutely made it. He's a multi-billionaire, fails. One of the most amazing success stories in the history of the industry, I'm sure. But of course, the question is, as Bertie says, where does he go from here? What does he do? Does he start making more games, or does he just, I don't know, become a philanthropist, old chap?
Well, maybe, yes. I think that he's thinking about perhaps making another game. There was indications given that he may be well doing that. And I think perhaps, given the fact that he's spent up to this point his whole life doing that sort of thing, or a good part of it, he probably will be interested in doing that. And I think also perhaps he's thinking that maybe it sets a jolly good example and some hope for the indie sort of gamers, developers, etc.
Well, yes.
As well, if they can get a similar sort of break that Mr. Notch got.
Indeed, fellas, I can't say I exactly expected Mr. Notch to go this way, but he's now the unquestionably the king of bling, old boy.
He seems to be, yes, indeed, and no doubt a lot more people know about Mr. Notch now than they did. But what do you think about all this? Do you think that this is good, and Mr. Notch should be perfectly, he can just have fun and tell everyone about this and do all this and things? Or do you think he should have just stayed coding away and kept all his money in a trunk somewhere or something?
And making more Minecraft updates.
Making more Minecraft updates, making the Red Dragon and things like that. They're in trouble now, aren't they?
Yes, well,
never mind.
They are fails. Mr.
Yes.
Notch's rather lavish housewarming bash, and I dare say we'll bring you more news as it becomes available,
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yes, this has been Game Churn Buddy with the latest, it's sort of like Minecraft news, old chap. I think it is.
Wait, of course it, Mr.
Of course
Notch,
it is.
Did he make? Yes, he did make Minecraft. Of course he did. It is about Minecraft in a way.
Notch made Minecraft, so that's Minecraft news to me. We'll of course see what it is, I say. Jonathan,
Yes, it's got houses in it too, hasn't it?